Okay, bottom of page 65. Went back through our lives. Nothing counted but thoroughness and honesty. So he's completed the first three columns. I asked him, were you thorough? Were you honest? Take a real good swing at this? Great. When we were finished, we considered it carefully. So we're going to come to these considerations or observations carefully. I mean, we don't go zipping through this hunting something to write. We're going to give this some thought. The first thing apparent was that this world and people are often quite wrong. Now, the chances are good that he's been on bar stools with some of the other great philosophers of our era, covering this very topic for the last couple of decades. So we're not going to give this one any time at all. We know he's got that. To conclude others were wrong was as far as most of us ever got. Is that where you are? Yeah, okay. So it says, it is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to futility and unhappiness. It was plain to the people who wrote this book. Is it plain to you? Have you ever seen anybody who was happy, joyous, free, and full of deep resentment? I've never seen that combination. Have you? Okay, so you observe that also. All right. To precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile? Did you ever sit in class and hate them when you should have been listening? Did you ever lay awake at night planning what you were going to do to them and hating them when you should have been sleeping? Everybody guilty on at least one of those? Okay, so you squandered, you threw away hours that might have been worthwhile. So this is true for you also. Well, the alcoholic whose hope, now they're going to tell me what my hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience. To me, growth means that Scott's 2015 program just might not be good enough for 2016. I have to remain in a growth mode. My mission isn't to get the last lesson, it's to be in pursuit of the next one. That's all. Maintenance to me means two things. Maintenance in the sense of not losing something I already got. And maintenance also in the same sense that I maintenance my vehicle. I rotate the tires. I got the right pressure in them. I wash it. I change the oil on a regular basis. I vacuum it out. I got the windshield washer fluid in there. I maintenance my spiritual program. Prayer, meditation, meeting, reading spiritual literature, sponsoring guys, having a sponsor. Put your blinker on near me in traffic. I will let you in. It's a spiritual experience. I mean, I'm a type A person. I get in a car, I'm going somewhere. And I slow down and let you in. It's a spiritual experience every time, you know. Trying to spread joy. I maintenance. I'm trying to be a good dad. Maintenance my spiritual condition. It means to take care of it in the little pieces, I think. But the alcoholic whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely grave. Infinitely grave. We just killed you. We're going to do it 7 times on this page. Yeah. We found that it is fatal. Oh, you just died again. I had not seen Jerry in a number of years. I was sober 6 years. I hadn't seen him in 3. Ran into him at 202. He looked at me and said, "What?" And I said, "I'm terrified. I got to talk to you." I said, "Do you remember?" And I gave a man's name because we're being recorded. I'm not going to give it. And I said, "Do you remember this guy?" And he said, "If anyone you sponsored commits suicide, you will remember them." And I said, okay, he and I were members of the same group where I saw him multiple times every week. We were within a month or so of the same sobriety date. We had the same sponsor, you. And he drove home from a meeting one night, sober 2 years, and pulled into the garage and dropped the door and left it running and took his own life, sober 2 years. And I can't find the difference between me and him. And I'm scared. What's the difference? And he said, the difference is I could not get him to do a 4-step. And he died of resentment. It killed him. I thought about it. I've talked to others who knew this guy. Every time he saw you, he could not wait to run up to you to tell you what some SOB had just done to him. He was the perennial victim. And the victims don't get sober. I have to step out of the victim role. The victims don't win. They don't get sober. We're beginning the process of me stepping out of my victimhood. And this, to me, it happens in this next page and a half. This is where the magic for me in this entire process lies. For when harboring such feelings, not when having, I don't think the language is by mistake. Harbor means to give a safe place to nurture. I'm okay if I have a resentment, if I'm not harboring it. And we're going to teach me how to not harbor here in just a couple of seconds. For when harboring such feelings, we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the Spirit, the insanity of alcohol returns, we drink again. Well, that's to drink is to, yeah, we just killed you again. If we were to live, okay, now this is only for the ones that want to live. Everybody else can go ahead and take a break. If we were to live we had to be free of anger. The grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. That sentence didn't make any sense to me until I got a 1930s dictionary. I looked up the word brainstorm. About the time this book was being written, one of the most creative, I am told, one of the most creative men of the 20th century got his team together and sat around a table, and you'd have an idea and you'd say it, and that'd make you think of something, and you'd think of something, and he'd come up with the idea that we'd go with. And that's how Walt Disney and his team wrote Mickey Mouse cartoons, and he labeled his process brainstorming. That's what I'm told. Has absolutely nothing to do with the word brainstorm as is written on this page. In the 1930s dictionary, we found the word brainstorm. It meant transient, violent mental outburst. That's rage. All right? So brainstorm, as written in this book, is synonymous with rage. So there are, for our purposes, apparently two kinds of anger. The grouch, the slow burn, or brainstorm, rage, the detonation. I hope that helped. It helped me a lot. And you want something thin? Try this. They may be the dubious luxury for normal men. That is thin. But for alcoholics, these things are, yeah, we killed you again. All right. We turned back to the list where it held the key to the future. Now, we just killed you again. It was very subtle this time. Does that mean if I don't find the key to the future, I don't have a future? Yes, you're dead. We were prepared to look at it from an entirely different angle. Let's talk about that. So what we've been doing, if you will, I like the metaphor of the courtroom. We have been at the prosecution table. We have listed in column 1 the guilty parties. We've listed in column 2 what these guilty parties did to our poor innocent victim. In column 3, we have listed how these things affected our poor innocent victim. If I'm going to look at it from an entirely different angle, I'm going to have to walk across the courtroom and sit at the defense table and say, if I'd had his life, if my parents had treated me like his did, if I'd been fired as many times, if I had whatever has happened to him had happened to me, could I not on my worst spiritual heritage have done what he did? I'll tell you now, my answer is yes. And it is, for me, the beginning of the forgiveness process. And I don't think we do anything that approaches the importance of this. I have to look at that from the entirely different angle. I'm going to need God's help with that. It's a good place to put a prayer in. Whew. It says, we began to see that the world of people really dominated us. I wanted to take one 30-minute session and go back through this list. Let's have a look. How did this dominate you? Did this particular individual who nailed you, did you plan your life so you'd be around him so that if he made a mistake, you would see it and you could tell everybody? Or did you plan your life so that you'd never be around him so he couldn't get you anymore? Are you at 72 years old still having problem with authority figures because your father beat you down so thoroughly? That's my story. Let's have a look at how these things dominated you. 30 minutes, that's enough. In that state, that's the state of being dominated by these resentments, the wrongdoings of others, fancied or real. Fancied? Does that mean some of this only happened in my head? Yeah. And we're going to find that too. Had the power to actually kill. Oh, yeah, you died again. Wow. How could we escape? Here's one of the most powerful concepts in this book. It says, we saw that these resentments must be mastered. There are no musts in the program, and here's one of them. We must be mastered. They saw that. Do you? I'm a sales rep. I've been a salesman a long time. A good salesman will never mention price until he's established value. We just killed you 7 times on this page. Is that enough value? Are you willing to pay a high price? I hope so, because the price is very high. We saw that these resentments must be mastered. We could not wish them away any more than alcohol. My experience is that forgive isn't something I do, it's something I receive. In the English language, the verb to forgive is a transitive verb. It's something I do. In my experience, it's not. It's a passive verb. It's something I can receive. I can give you this pen, but I can't forgive you. That this process that we're going to come to in this next session, because we're about out of time now, is a process for opening me up to receive the gift of not hating you anymore. And it isn't something I do. It's something that I have learned a way. I'm not saying there aren't others. I have learned a way to put my soul in a position to receive the gift of not hating you anymore.